Shalom, my friend. So, welcome to weekly. My name is Shalom, Rabbi Plotkin, and we're going to begin, as I always like to begin the class, with the bracha for Torah learning. So please stay with me. Baruch atah Eloheinu haolam asher kiddushanu la'asot b'divrei Torah. Well, the God creator of the universe, to busy ourselves with the words of Torah. So we have Parsha Shmini in front of us on page 630, 630 in the red 8th Chaim Chumash. And I was reminded by Josh Foster, who usually is the one who recruits me to do this, last Shabbos, that I had agreed probably 3 months ago to do this. And I'm like, perfect. This is the perfect time to teach. And I was thinking that I would say that we're going to do this right before the eclipse. Okay, so we have just a few days, and then what's going to happen on Monday at 3 o'clock, scientifically speaking?
The moon pass in front of the sun.
Will go in front of the sun, right? Exactly. And some people say, okay, it's not going to be as fabulous because the moon's a little bit farther away than we expected, so maybe the eclipse won't last exactly as long. Okay, this might be a trick question. What is the blessing for an eclipse?
There isn't one.
There is not. And the reason is because
It's just
this was an upsetting thing
It's like,
for the rabbis.
it's like a cataclysmic event.
A cataclysmic event, says Bijan, right? So this is an opportunity maybe also to reflect on some of the darkness which sometimes comes unexpectedly into our lives. Fair enough? Okay, so there's a blessing on everything. There's even a blessing on bad news, right? But there's no blessing on the eclipse. You would think, okay, maybe it goes along with like earthquake or lightning or thunder. No, no blessing there. Okay, so my specific plans for the eclipse, I made no plans. I didn't have any specific plans. I'm actually going for my annual training. So right at home, we focus on, safety for seniors in their homes. We have to go for annual training every year. They kind of look forward to it. It's kind of a break, come back. This year, we're studying more about how do we put more artificial intelligence perhaps into our business. That's the question. Or do we include more technology into our business? Usually we don't, but it's something that we're talking about because it's, there will be some opportunities maybe to improve our services. So anyway, but this is something that we're working on. Hello, Rabbi. Boker Tov, good Shabbos. So we're going to go around few times this morning. Okay, rather quick go around. And I'm interested to hear, do you have some sort of thing that you're looking forward to on Monday for this eclipse? And we'll go around a quick second time. And this is only if you want to share, you could say skip. But is there a particular time when you think back on it where that was a very dark time in your life? And we're going to also talk about a dark time in the Parsha. So just a little sneak preview. Ron was asking for the sneak preview. So you can probably guess what I'm going to be discussing here. Okay, so very good. So I'll start and then I'll go to Judy, who's on my far right. So just to give you a chance to take a bite. So I'm Shalom. So my specific plan for Monday, I think maybe I'll be on an airplane. So maybe I'll look out the window. But I am doing something fun in my office. We bought like a couple hundred of these earthquake glasses. They look kind of, funky. And we said to the community, our caregivers, our clients, anybody who wants the glasses, come on, get them for free. You're welcome. By the way, anybody here is also welcome to, if you want to stop by my Beechwood office, you want to pick up some of the glasses, we're welcome to do that. Because we thought this would be an opportunity for the caregivers and their clients to do something fun together. So we just, made it a little light. I'll come back for a moment for a dark time in my life. Judy, so this is just Monday, if you have a thought of what you're doing.
Dark about what I'm gonna do.
So Judy doesn't know if she's even going to bother to stop, take a moment out of the day to look out the window, okay? Okay, you gotta say, everybody says their name,
Okay.
Harvey.
It's hard, yeah, you know Harvey. No real plans right now, but I am thinking about taking the entire day off of.
Okay, day off from work. Some people have a day off from school. Okay, good, okay. Just to take, and then during the eclipse, no specific plans, but okay,
No.
it's gonna happen,
Yeah,
right?
Walk out the
Okay.
door, look at it. and that's it.
Okay, okay.
Larry, I do have glasses, trying to figure out where to go, park with other people, family, friends, where to look for it, and the rest of the day, just a regular day.
Right, yep. Okay, just a regular day. No biggie. Okay, so far, nobody has said anything, out of the ordinary. Okay. Okay, we're gonna come around, so you can introduce yourself again, please. And we'll get to the guys on the computer as well. I won't forget you. I won't let me.
I'm Shira, and in preparation for the eclipse, we actually have just moved into a new apartment
Right on.
in the area from Maryland. And there's gonna be a kind of a viewing party at our new apartment complex, so.
Where is
got-
it?
This is at the atrium.
Oh, right on. So if anybody's in Beechwood and wants to go to Shira's apartment party, we can invite you. She did not mention that. I'm gonna just invite you on her behalf. I thought you were gonna say we're gonna put up a mezuzah or something, but okay. Maybe you already did that.
That's coming.
Hadukata bite.
If the question is, dark times in people's lives, I suspect.
I'm coming around. We're gonna do that one again. Coming around.
Well, I
Okay.
suspect that, what I'm about to say applies to everybody here. In the dark times, we're losing loved ones.
Yes.
Lost my mother during Purim, and Purim is supposed to be a joyful event. For me, it's an event of sadness.
Yes, sir. Okay. Coming around.
Jackie,
Anything on Monday for the eclipse?
yes, I'm getting together with friends in a large backyard in the Rim Falls.
Oh,
Providing glasses for the rest of.
two parties are going on now at least. Okay. All right. Good. Thank you, Jack.
On, no specific plans. I have glasses. I have checked that I can see the sun at the right time from my own backyard.
Okay.
So, my plans are probably either watch it from my backyard or someplace that I can walk to with a little bit better view.
Okay. Maybe like the Beechwood Stadium they're having.
No, I'm not in Beechwood. I'm in Cleveland Heights.
Okay.
I'm thinking more like Oakwood,
Okay.
Yeah,
or
Bijan,
the Walmart parking lot.
Yes.
speaking of Beechwood actually has a very well organized plan
Yes.
for everybody to go to the Beechwood High School and
Stadium.
watch it from there, and
Yes.
there's probably impressions and security and all
Right.
that, so that's
Yes.
our plan.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Paul.
I'm Tal. I'm going with Bijan. I'm really looking forward to hearing the crickets because when there's an eclipse, all the crickets start.
Look at
chirping in the
that.
middle of
So the
day.
nighttime animals come out during the day.
Yeah, you can even hear.
Watch out for
owls.
skunk.
Exactly. It's really fun.
No, there was like a whole debate. There was the rabbi said, should I put on my tzitzis? I'm supposed to wear them out during the day, maybe a high, what if there is I don't know.
Actually, I heard you're supposed to take your tefillin off.
Right, so there was someone so there's different, like, what if the eclipse came during the counting of the Omer? Does this count as its own separate day? Okay, so please.
Okay, I'm Bernard and my son is flying in from Boston tonight. But he has to get his return flight on Monday at 5:30 and all the media reporting about traffic jams, etc. So we're going to have to do this at the airport. And TripAdvisor says if you go onto the roof of the parking garage at the airport, you'll get a good view.
Okay.
My concern is what happens if thousands of other people are there and are conditions. So
Okay, so we're worried about traffic, people looking up and not looking at where they're going, right?
and
Okay,
then there's two other things. Do I go down in my car? It doesn't matter if it takes me hours to get home afterwards, but it gives me flexibility. If the roof on the parking garage isn't good, I can go to Snow Road parking lot and look from there. But the alternative, if I get the Rapid, I don't have transport problems, but then I'm stuck in the airport only. I can't go anywhere else. So these are matters I'm mulling over.
Okay, please.
My daughter flew in from Florida for the eclipse and looking forward.
Oh, give your name, please.
Oh, Michael.
Michael,
And looking forward, there's supposed to be something unusual about looking at shadows, much sharper
okay.
than normal.
Okay, shadows, okay, please.
So, Bob, I'm actually, I'm, in the hospital at this time, so I'm gonna.
So you might be working.
Yeah, but I'm gonna try to see if we can work at least an hour at a time and go outside, but.
Yeah.
Where I'm working, they said that they're gonna block people's ability to go to the top of the parking garage, so.
We're putting up an umbrella, nobody can watch.
I'm not sure how. But
They think the parking lot isn't strong enough to hold all those people.
I think it should be able to.
Of course.
Anyway, so I'm not sure.
Really?
Yingli Walensky, we have glasses, we probably is gonna watch it in our yard, we're fine, but on our street,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay, so maybe go out into the yard or into the street. Okay, so we have a few folks up on the computer. Whoever wants to jump in, I'm gonna call their name.
Nelson.
I'm Nelson. It is a memory for me of one of the greatest experiences of my life, which was in 2017. In August, there was an eclipse, and we timed our move to Florida so we could stop in South Carolina to watch it. And we had a reservation in a motel, but the night before we went to the motel, we stopped in the Smoky Mountains. And met a woman while we were waiting for dinner, and I was just telling her that I had glasses that I had bought at Amazon, but Amazon had issued an announcement that they couldn't guarantee that they were actually safe.
What good are they?
What good are they? It's just like, we'll do our best.
I don't know, supposedly, like, when the sun is fully blocked, then anybody could look even without glasses, but I still wouldn't recommend it or try it.
No. So anyway, I went back to our hotel room, and a few minutes later, there was a knock on the door. It was this woman, and it turned out that she had an emergency and had to go home, and she wouldn't be there, couldn't use her glasses, and she brought us her glasses, which were safe. And the next day, we checked into our Eclipse hotel. It was full. I've never been in a full hotel before in my life. Every last space was taken. People came from all over the world. And we had this great discussion, talk. They were wonderful people. Anyway, but the fact that this woman had changed her plans, brought us her glasses, it was just a gift.
All right, so there might be an opportunity to do a mitzvah on, okay, all right, so we can make the earthquake into a time, the eclipse in a time of sharing. Okay, maybe Ivan, yeah, not Philip.
Well, I think I'm just gonna watch it right in my yard. My daughter and her family are driving in from Pittsburgh, and at our East Coast custard stores, we're making Blue Moon custard.
Blue Moon, right on. Alina? Or Jackie? Somebody else on the computer? Anybody else on the side? Okay.
Me? I'm my son and his family are coming from Pittsburgh also, just to see the eclipse, to stay with me for the eclipse. But then the minus is, so they won't be coming for the Seder. So I'm a little happy.
Right. So you're doing Pesach a little early? Actually, this is a crazy.
Yeah, I made the chicken soup and matzah balls a little early.
No, so my daughter who's studying this year at a girls' seminary in Jerusalem in Israel, she said that they already went kosher for Passover in her apartment. I couldn't believe that. It seemed like a little bit, in advance, little bit much. But they're basically doing 3 weeks of Passover, maybe, I thought it was crazy, but I guess some of the girls were basically going home for the holidays. So they said, hey, it's not fair if just the kids who are left, the whole work is on them. So everybody has to do their share. Who knows? Seemed a little nuts. Okay, so we're gonna go around again, but first I'm gonna look inside the parsha for a moment. And what we're gonna ask is there a specific moment that you want to focus on of where there was a cloud or darkness or some sort of an eclipse in your life? Maybe it was, you were expecting a sunny day and all of a sudden, perhaps something celestial came over you. Okay, and then maybe what we did the next day after that. But we're going to look inside of Parsha Shemini. So I'm going to pick out a piece of the Parsha. So I'm on page 630. So we're gonna read a little bit in Hebrew and then also in English. Would somebody like to read for me chapter 9 of Vayikra? So right around the middle of the Torah, third book of the Torah. Moses and his sons have been anointing. They've been sacrificing. They've been installed as priests, and now we have Mishkan, this portable holy tabernacle in the desert, in the wilderness, and the Israelites have gathered around. So someone wants to read for me, please? Please, Larry.
Yeah. On the 8th day, Moses called Aaron and his sons and the elders of Israel. He said to Aaron, take a calf of the hood for a purification offering and a lamb for a burnt offering without blemish, and bring them before the Lord. And speak to the Israelites, saying, take a he-goat for a purification offering, a calf and a lamb, yearlings without blemish for a burnt offering, and an ox and a lamb for an offering of well-being to sacrifice before the Lord, and a grain offering with oil mixed in, for today the Lord will appear to you.
Okay, so what's happening here? We have a ram and a lamb and a calf and an ox and some grain and some oil. So here we have these animals, we have these vegetables, and what's going on with them? What's he gonna do with all of these agricultural products?
Burn them.
Sacrifice them. He's gonna burn them, right? He's gonna put them onto the altar. Why? Why? What's this for?
Lord's going to appear.
Right, because, God is going to appear, but why is he doing this? For purification, right? Sanctification, purification. Okay.
It's the priest's role. It's the priest's job to, to eat the sacrifice.
And Shalom.
Yes, it's a chatat sacrifice. Yes.
I don't get this. All these sacrifices, and it's mentioned multiple times of having grain with oil mixed in. Was that a common food? Was that just?
Right, no, these were major products of Israel, of the Holy Land. Yeah, they had olives to make oil, they had wheat and barley to make grain, yeah.
I can't imagine a bowl of wheat with some oil on it.
Yeah, sounds like cream of wheat.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, sounds like a delicious cereal.
Very creamy.
Okay.
Unless it was hummus.
Okay, so they have the shlamim sacrifice.
It's also.
Okay, so we're going to continue reading. So we're on verse 5.
Okay.
Larry or somebody else wants to continue?
I'll continue, yeah. They brought to the front of the tent of meeting the things that Moses had commanded, and the whole community came forward and stood before the Lord.
So who was there? Was it just the priests?
Everybody.
Was it just the men? Was it just the Kohanim?
No, everybody.
It was the entire people. Okay, they were all there. Okay, and then what happened?
Moses said, this is what the Lord has commanded that you do, that the presence of the Lord may appear to you. Then Moses said to Aaron,
come forward to the altar and sacrifice your purification offering and your burnt offering, making expiation for yourself and for the people. And
Okay,
second,
so first he has to expiate for himself. So, take my sins, please forgive me, God. He's asking for, doing tshuva, asking for repentance. Now, the sins of the whole people, they're also in my hands. Here's another sacrifice. Okay, so everybody's gonna start fresh and clean, right? Okay, keep going.
and sacrifice the people's offerings and make expiation for them as the Lord has commanded.
Okay, so here come the burnt offerings, the sin offerings. Okay, and then what happens?
Aaron came forward to the altar and slaughtered his calf of purification offering. Aaron's sons brought the blood to him. He dipped his finger in the blood and put it on the horns of the altar.
Okay, so can you imagine the altar? It's a big rectangle. It has these horns, coming out of the side, kind of like a cow's horns. Okay, right? Now, don't forget, Aaron has just been through a bit of an ordeal with not just for himself, but with the whole people. What happened on Har Sinai? Okay, right. So he took a golden calf, an egel hazahav. Actually, at one point he said, "Well, God, it just came out of the fire. It walked out whole in gold." Right? But so he has just basically shown himself to be the leader of an idolatrous people. He said, "They made me do it." Right? So does he have what to repent for? Does the people have what to repent for?
Yeah.
Right. Don't forget, Hashem has already brought some recompense down on the people, right? What was there a plague? What happened? Right. The Levites had basically killed all the people who had led this idolatrous practice, right? And did God eventually forgive the people? Right. So this all is recent, right? This all just happened, right? So now he's coming back again on behalf of the entire people. But this time Moses is there with them and he's telling them what to do, right? So do you think he's a little bit worried about maybe making a mistake here? What do you think's going through Aaron's mind right now as he's just gone through all these days of purification, just like before receiving the Aseret HaDibrot? All the children of Israel had to go through purification. Moses said, take 3 days, stay away from the mountains, stay away from your wives, everybody get washed up, right? All this purification, right? What's going to happen this time? We don't know yet, right? Well, okay, all right,
We read ahead.
all right, let's find out. Here he's coming. He's got the sacrifices. What's going to happen? Okay.
And he poured out the rest of the blood at the base of the altar. The fat, the kidneys, and the protuberance of the liver from the purification offering, he turned into smoke on the altar.
Okay, so does it smell like a barbecue now?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, let's keep going.
As the Lord had commanded Moses. And the flesh of the skin were consumed in fire outside the camp. Then he slaughtered the burnt offering. Aaron's sons passed the blood to him, and he dashed it against all sides of the altar.
Okay, so are we allowed to eat this blood? No. In June, in kashrut, we're going to maybe study some more laws of kashrut and Shemini Nut. So we're not eating the blood. We're using it. This is the spirit of the animal, pouring it out on the altar. Okay.
They passed the burnt offering to him in sections, as well as the head, and he turned it into smoke on the altar. He washed the entrails and the legs and turned them into smoke on the altar with the burnt offering.
A big bonfire going on. There's fires on the altar day and night. Okay. All right. So everybody's gathered around the tent of the meeting. Now what happens?
Next, he brought forward the people's offering. He took the goat for the people's purification offering and slaughtered it and presented it as a purification offering like the previous one. He brought forward the burnt offering and sacrificed it according to regulation.
Up at 6:32. Keep going.
He then brought forward the grain offering and, taking a handful of it, he turned it into smoke on the altar, in addition to the burnt offering of the morning. He slaughtered the ox and the lamb, the people's sacrifice of well-being. Aaron's sons passed the blood to him, which he dashed against every side of the altar, and the fat parts of the ox and the lamb, the broad tail, the covering, the kidneys, and the protuberance of the livers. They laid these fat parts over the breast, and Aaron turned the fat parts into smoke on the altar.
and elevated the breast and the right thigh as an elevation offering before the Lord that Moses had commanded.
Okay, so we have this wave offering. Here's the shot yamin, here's the breast and the thighs. Now they're all being burnt up as well. Okay?
Aaron lifted his hands towards the people and
Okay, now what's he doing? Is this another sacrifice? He's lifting up his hands now. Look at my fingers, right? What's he doing?
Let's see.
Right? Okay, so all the people are there. Okay, this is a sacred moment. I've just, made these sacrifices of purification. Moses is watching everything we're doing. We're all on track. Okay, let's keep going.
And he stepped down after offering the purification offering, the burnt offering, and the offering of well-being. Moses and Aaron then went inside the tent of meeting.
Okay, so now they disappear. All right, so before, when Moses disappeared up on the mountain, people went wild. They didn't know, when's he coming back? Maybe he's delayed. Maybe they're worried they're not going to come back out of this tent of the meeting, right? So here they are. Aaron has just blessed us. Now the people are left by themselves. What do you think's going to happen?
You hope by now they've developed object permanence.
Okay, all right. So Shira says, okay, they haven't disappeared. They're still in the tent. They went in. Maybe they're still in there. Okay, all right. What happens?
When they came out, they blessed the people.
Again, another blessing. Okay. Thank you, people, for not revolting while we were stepped away for just a moment. Another blessing. Okay.
And the presence of the Lord appeared to all the people.
Okay, what did it look like? What did the presence of God look like in this case? A fire. And what does the fire do? Fire.
Smoke up.
Right, everything, big smoke, flames, leaving behind the ashes from these offerings. Okay, fire came forth from before the Lord. V'teitzei eish malifnei Adonai, v'tochal al hamizbeach et ha'olah, et ha'chalavim, all the parts, v'yar kol ha'am. And they were full of fear. But v'yar kol ha'am. Vayaronu. What did they do?
Shouted.
They shouted. Were they shouting in happiness or in fear? Fear. Right. So here comes this fire is breaking loose. It's coming down from the heavens. Vayaronu. Vayuplu al pneihem. And what they do?
They bowed.
They fell on their faces. They bowed down. Right. They were like, don't kill us. Right. Have they seen fire from God before? Yikes. Yeah. What's going to happen? Is it going to stay there on the? Is it under control? Okay.
The Hebrew is vayar.
Vayar,
which you just described as fear.
Yirah is fear.
You described it as fear. This translation says awe.
They saw? Oh no.
And to me,
this is trembling awe.
The difference between fear and awe, not saw, but it's awe, is whether it's happening to you or to somebody else.
Okay, well, it was happening to them, right? So
it was awe.
And this is in the middle of all the people of Israel. This is it. Okay, so let's pause there for a moment. How would you be feeling if you were there? Trembling.
I have a phrase, but I won't say it out loud.
Okay. I was feeling, something scary. Okay, anybody else want to say how they might be feeling?
Spirit essence.
Okay, so this is a pretty powerful moment, right? And they've been doing 7 days, right? The priests have been, getting anointed. They've been preparing. Okay, this is the 8th day. This is Yom HaShmini. Okay, right? It's complete. Okay, now what's going to happen? Okay, the sons of Aaron, something is going to happen. Okay, somebody else want to read, or we have the same reader? Larry's doing a great job.
I'll continue.
Okay, Larry wants to continue. Okay, good.
Now Aaron's sons, Nadab and Abihu, each took his fire pan, put fire in it, and laid incense on it. And they offered before the Lord alien fire.
Hold on, what is it? Fire? What did they just do? Okay, they took their fire pans, right? They put incense in it. That's what the fire pans are for. They made an offering of it. Everything sounds correct. Yes? What could be so wrong?
That had not been commanded.
Alien fire means Was it at the wrong time, or was it the wrong place, or did they put the wrong incense?
Came from the wrong God? No.
Maybe they had the wrong intention? What does Jackie say?
I'm saying that they didn't get the instructions.
Yeah.
Eish zara asher lo tziva otam. Strange fire which was not commanded on them. Okay.
They acted upon their own thing.
Initiative.
Okay, Bijan said they took it upon themselves. What does Ivan say?
Unauthorized.
Unauthorized. Okay,
Exactly.
okay. Maybe they were just so caught up in the spirit of holiness. Is it possible to be too holy?
They got too excited.
Too excited?
They were innovative.
Maybe innovation, maybe they were told, this is how you do the sacrifice, not this way. This is how you keep kosher, not this way. I don't know. What happened here? Okay, so let's keep.
Priests are not supposed to innovate.
Okay, they're given a formula.
Right,
Okay.
right. And they're in the presence of God now. And this is something that they've yearned for.
Okay.
And it's like, there's supposed to be silence. There's supposed to be total respect. We're making a space for God, like on Shabbat.
Okay, so is this like disrespect to Aaron and his brother Moses? Okay, now it's going to be Nadav and his brother Abihu. We're going to supersede political revolt of the priestly class above, push away these elders who have now done their job and they're finished, and we're going to come forward with a new fire. Well, what's going to happen? Larry, what happens?
And the fire came forth from the Lord and consumed them. Thus they died at the instance of the Lord.
But say ish, more fire, ish, milifnei Adonai, v'tochal, it ate otam. Vayamutu, they died in front of God, in front of all the people too, in front of their families. There they died. And then Moses says to Aaron, his brother, the leader of the people turns to his high priest, right? This is his spokesperson. This is the person who's been leading the people even when they asked him for a golden calf. And he says to his priest, what?
This is what the Lord meant when he said, with those near me, I show myself holy and gain glory before all the people. And Aaron,
Mikrovai ekadesh. To my closest intimates, my krovai, my closest family members, through them, I will become made more holy, uplifted, ekadesh, right? V'alpnei kol ha'am akabed. And so everybody, now the whole nation will be a nation of priests. They'll gain glory. God has put glory through us, me and you, not your sons. And Aaron replied by saying what?
nothing.
By you don't. Okay. Like Jonah in goes into a deep sleep in the bottom of the spina of the ship. By his own, he is shtok, silent. Okay, by Yidom Aaron. Okay, a dark time in my life, and anybody can share. You don't have to share, but we're going to talk about the dark moment, and we're maybe also going to talk about the moment after the dark moment. Okay, so you'll be able to see in this parsha what happens next, and about the two remaining sons and how what they do after the loss of their older brothers Mishael and Elzaphan. Okay, but we're going to put that aside for now. So my wife and I very much in love, very much wanted to start a family, had not been able to do that for coming up on 6 + 7 years, something like this. We decided maybe we would try different ways, maybe we would try to adopt. There was all different kinds of ways to create a family. And then there was a new technology. Okay, so I was the rabbi of a congregation. We had a congregant who was a doctor in the medical field, and they had said, oh, there's something called in vitro fertilization, where you take a sperm and you take an egg, not so easy to do, the sperm part, but the egg part was a little harder. We put them together and, you know, we, in the lab, we might be able to make this happen. And they said, look, we got a couple of embryos. This is basically a tiny little cell. You know what? Put it back in your wife, and there's gonna be an opportunity here. Do you want one of them or both of them? We're like, what the heck, you know, just go for it, you know? And by the way, does insurance pay for this? It does not. Right, well, maybe in some states, Massachusetts, but not in Alabama where we were living at the time. And at that time, I'd also been called, big promotion to be the senior rabbi now of a congregation in New Jersey. And so, you know, the family was traveling, it was gonna be very exciting. And she said, I feel something different, maybe something growing. She wasn't sure. And then a couple of days later, she said, definitely not. This is not happening. I'm like, she's like, I can tell. She's like, this is done. It has not worked. I mean, we did take her to the doctor and they actually confirmed what she already knew, but she could tell. I don't know how she could tell, but she knew. She knew right away. She said, this did not work. And when she said that, when she revealed that, it was cloudy because like we had thought, oh, there might be a chance for a child, maybe even two, maybe even twin, who knows, right? And this had been a series like of years and of months and of you know, activities, all the hormonal shots and then the procedures and the this and the that, none of it, and the investment and the planning, and none of it, okay. So we had a sad time there. Do we want to share this publicly? Do we want to keep it private? Do we want to try again? At that point we decided, well, I don't want to tell you exactly what we decided. But this is the day after. So anybody want to share with the group a sad time that they had either in themselves or maybe in their profession or maybe in their family?
Well, my daughter-in-law, during her first pregnancy, was found to have an early lymphoma, a little lump in her neck. And she had chemo and radiation, and she had a child, and they thought they would never have another child. And a few years went by, and of course, nothing happened.
Wait, don't tell us what happened in the end there. We're just focusing on the sad.
So they accepted they're only going to have one child. That's the price for being cured from the other problems.
So potentially losing her own life, potentially losing potential life, you know, of the future. Then maybe a ray of happiness. The child lives, child survives the pregnancy. Okay, anybody else want to share a dark? It doesn't have to be a life and death moment. It doesn't have to be a nadav and avihu.
You don't want the day after.
What's that?
You don't want.
No, I don't want the day after yet. Okay. We're getting there. Okay. And, okay, this could be a sad time. Oh, my first ice cream cone and the scoop fell on the floor and I didn't know Ivan and I didn't have anybody who bakes ice cream to replace it. Okay, now I'm just kidding now.
I may have had a nadav avihu.
Okay, Bijan is just gonna choose one now. Okay.
Well, yeah, one.
One moment of darkness. Look, there's a whole life you could choose from. I'm just asking for one moment.
It's a nadav avihu moment.
Please, what is it?
In Israel, I was a student at Hebrew U, and they took the whole bunch of us to a what's called Tiyul, a trip to En-Gedi. And En-Gedi is in the mountain, and then there's a waterfall. And there's a small, like a little lake down there. And they're going, I got excited, I went into the lake, slowly and gradually.
Yes.
And just to wet my feet.
Yes.
I go, and lo and behold, the bottom of the lake drops like this.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't know how to swim. I still don't know. I never done it.
Yes.
Among one of the things I never done.
Yes.
Many things.
Yes.
And then I drown and I start, diving and so on and so forth.
Yes.
And at some point I said, okay, that's it.
Okay, so we're gonna stop there. So we don't want to hear exactly what happens next. But so you heard the story. He was a student, Hebrew U, on a trip. He was walking into the lake at the plunge pool and he dropped off and now he sees the top of the water receding. He's falling into the shadows of the depths of the pool in En-Gedi. Okay, somebody else want to share a dark moment? The sun is starting to get blotted out. Oh, Jackie next.
Okay, Jackie.
I remember very clearly a bright sunny day in July. And at that point, about 20 after 9, I came back, I was a wife, 2 kids, and I came back at 20 after 10. I was a widow.
So when your husband died, so that was the moment you went out, you came back, you went out, a whole family and you came back. Now all of a sudden you're gonna have to be raising the children by yourself. Okay?
Okay, I keep thinking this gets easier over time, but it really doesn't. But probably my darkest time was when my wife passed away, and I found her in the morning on the bathroom floor, gone. And that day, at that moment, I had to call my son, who was away, I had to call her mother, I had to call my friends.
You can call the paramedics.
That was the first call, was 911. No, but it was just telling people that someone had passed away.
So the loss was hard, and then sharing the loss also hard.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, anybody else want to share? Young lady.
Oh, wow.
You don't have to share it if you don't.
Yeah. Okay, this is on, excuse me, on June 3rd, 1989 in Tiananmen Square. I wasn't feeling so well, so I left the Tiananmen Square. You may all know there was a student demonstration there. It was already going on for 2.5 months. And I was there every day, except that day I just had a really bad stomach ache, so I left. And then in the morning, like, and I heard, I thought it was just firecrackers. There's just a series of it, and I heard about maybe a shooting going on in Tiananmen Square. So and I immediately went back to try to go back from my college campus to the Tiananmen Square. Everything was already all sealed. We couldn't go in, and to me, that was a dark spot.
So you saw the government troops fire on their own people, their own students to put down this demonstration.
Yes.
Yes. So friends of yours from the campus.
Right.
Yes.
And I saw that body, not at the Tiananmen Square, but on the street, just as I was trying to get in back to the Tiananmen Square. I saw that body.
Anybody else want to share a dark moment? So we've talked about moments of loss, of potential loss, of death, of multiple death, right? And this isn't like a can you top this? I'm not looking for right. So, but I'm wondering now how Bijan's down on the bottom of the pool. Does he push back up? We don't know yet. They're not going to tell us yet how he gets out. Okay, so for Nadav and for Abihu, their remains are there lying in front of the whole community. Okay, so right in the next moment, Moshe, again, the leader, issues a command. And what he says is, Larry, if you want to keep reading on verse 4.
Moses called Mishael and Elizaphan, sons of Uziel, and uncle Aaron, and said to them, "Come forward and carry your kinsmen away from the front of the sanctuary to a place outside the camp." They came forward and carried them out of the camp by their tunics, as Moses had offered. Okay, so basically that's Moses's immediate response: remove their bodies. So we're going to very quickly move to basically dispose of them, clean up, move forward, make this disappear from before the sight of the people.
But they're Kohanim, and they're supposed to be handling the dead bodies.
Right, so here come the priests, and now they're handling dead bodies. That's a good point, right? They're not even supposed to go in the cemetery, and here they're okay. So they've been spending all this time becoming purified, and now they're becoming impurified by the. Okay, good point, Jackie. Okay, so that's the immediate response. okay? Immediate response in other ways, in other times, could be different, right? So we have Shmini, the number Shmini in this Parsha represents like completeness or wholeness. We had like 7 days of creation, like 7 days the world was created. The 6 days God worked, 7 day God rested. Now all of a sudden, another week begins. The first week is basically a new beginning, right? You have the holiday of Sukkot, for example, right? Tabernacles, and we're saying thank you to God for the blessings of the fields. And then on the 8th day, what happens? Simchas Torah and Shmini Atzeret, right? You have the 8th day of convocation. We celebrate with the Torah and we go on. Now it's going to be the winter time. But before you leave, let's have another opportunity to party. What happens after the end of Passover? You have 8 days, no chumetz, and then maybe like in Sephardic tradition, Maimuna. I don't know, we like to go out for pizza and beer in our family, but there's all kinds of, so what happens after you have a child, right? How about, maybe 7 days and on the 8th day, what do you do to your male son? They have a bris, right? Circumcision, right? Bring them into the covenant, right? So now we have all these 7 days of purification. So the priests have been getting ready for this. And now they're anointing, they're expiating, they're sacrificing, and now here's the 8th day. But it's beginning with some sadness here. So how do we begin again?
Point of order here. They weren't Kohanim, they were Levites.
Okay, right. All right.
They're the ones that took them out.
Right. I mean, what happens after the bride walks around the groom for 7 times under the chuppah? Then what? They're married, break the cup, off you go, right? So here's a new beginning. It's not just sitting Shiva for 7 days and on the 8th day we get up and we walk around the house. It's not just, from sadness. Here I asked for stories of sadness. I could have just as easily asked for stories of gladness, right? I didn't get onto the computer. I don't know if Nelson or Ivan or if Jackie or Helena, if they want to share a moment of sadness from their lives before I share what happens here. Okay, I put them to sleep already. Okay, that's because they don't have any bagels and coffee over there. Okay, great. Okay, so what happens here is they go on. They start to pick themselves up. They start to put away their brothers. And they go on living. What Moses says here to them is, do you want to read some more, Larry, or shall I?
But they're all Aaron's sons.
Yeah, these are the other 2 sons. This is Mishael and El-Safan now.
Yeah.
Sons number 3 and 4.
No, sons of his uncle. That's why I said they're Levites, they're not Kohanim.
Okay, good. Okay, that's a good point. Okay, thank you. Correction there. They're Levites, but not Aaron's sons. Okay, keep going, Larry.
And Moses said to Aaron and to his sons, Eleazar and Ithamar.
Thank you. It was Eleazar and Ithamar who are going to come next, okay?
Do not bare your heads and do not rend your clothes, lest you die and anger strike the whole community. But your kinsmen, all the house of Israel, shall bewail the burning that the Lord has wrought. And so do not go outside the entrance of the tent of meeting, lest you die. The Lord's anointing oil is upon you, and they did as Moses had bidden.
So everybody else will do the mourning, but you're not going to do the mourning. Instead, right. Instead, you're right. I'm going to skip over verses 8, 9, 10, and 11, where he tells them don't drink any wine or liquor before doing your work. Okay, that kind of just got stuck in there. We're skipping over that bit. Okay, and now verse 12, please. So these are the other 2 sons of Aaron now, not the sons of the uncle.
Moses spoke to Aaron and his remaining sons, Eleazar and Ithamar. Take the grain offering that is left over from the Lord's gifts and eat it unleavened beside the altar, for it is most holy.
Okay, so now you're going to break some matzah. So you're gonna keep on doing sacrifices, the grain offering. You're gonna keep on observing the commandments.
You shall eat it in the sacred precinct, inasmuch as it is your due, and that of your children, the Lord's gifts. For so I have been commanded. But the breast of elevation offering and the thigh of gift offering, you and your sons and daughters with you may eat in your pure place, for they have been assigned as a due to you and your children from the Israelite sacrifices of well-being.
Okay, so we're gonna pause there some more. So basically continue, go on with your lives, pick yourself up, continue officiating for the children of Israel. You know, continue making these sacrifices. You might not be hungry right now because you just saw your brothers get burnt up by God, but now you're gonna have matzah and you're gonna have barbecue. Okay, so what happened in our family, so Elise and I, so we said, you know what, we're going to continue with the adoption plans. And that actually the plans were moving forward. Social worker's supposed to come to the house for like a home study, make sure we're, you know, fit to be parents. We were sending donations also abroad to an orphanage. Maybe that would work. And actually it was in Ukraine. But then she got pregnant twice. So, all right, so, you know, Hashem had other plans. But, you know, we didn't know that was going to be like that. Anybody else want to say what happened on that day or the day after when you discovered you were a widow, or when you discovered you were at the bottom of a pit in a pond, or when you discovered you're the survivor from the dormitory?
So mine was really kind of I don't know, interesting or unique. So we were a whole group of students, right?
Yes.
So I'm in the border, all the rest are on the shore.
Yes.
And they're schmoozing together and talking together and so on.
Where's John?
And yeah, very see. And it's very close, you know, it's like in here and in here. And they thought all along that I'm just kidding.
Yes.
I'm just playing around.
Yes.
Or I'm having fun.
Yes.
Or something like that.
Yes.
And that's why they never approached me.
Yes.
And then who knows what happened? And maybe hand of God or something at the very last second. So here's the interesting part.
Yes.
I'm sort of now relaxed.
Yes.
I'm completely kind of flowing.
Right.
I'm not doing this anymore.
Right. Yes.
I'm home like this. I'm
Yes.
gone. I
Right.
am at peace.
Yes.
I'm gone.
Yes.
And my entire family
Yes.
back home in Iran
Yes.
comes to me kind of unbothered.
Wow.
Vision, absolutely.
Wow. So you can see your family, your life is scrolling before your eyes. Yeah.
And then suddenly at the last second, somebody said, oh, no, he's not kidding. He's going down. He's going down.
Yeah.
And all he took is just like this. You know, it
Right.
was so
Somebody
close,
reached in and pulled you
you
out.
know?
Right.
That was it.
So is the hand of God or was the hand of your friend?
The hand of my friend by the hand of God.
By the hand of God, both. Okay. Okay. Anybody else want to share what happened later that day or the next day? How did you, continue? Yeah.
Well, 5 years later,
Yes.
there's a surprise. Suddenly, she has multiple pregnancies.
Wow.
And they all die except one who comes out, develops, and they have a second child.
Wow. Another grandchild. Okay, so of course it doesn't happen immediately. It takes 5 years. And in Jackie's case, you want to share anything else?
Oh, everybody in the family was the most difficult thing. The hardest part was sitting on the couch and telling my children their father was gone.
Yes.
Then booked a flight to New Jersey where we had great family and we very affectionate of my parents' house. And pick life up. And we had to explain to my daughter that he must have done something terrible for this to happen. That has nothing to do with anything he did. Just one of the sad things that happened in life.
And then you continued to raise the children by yourself?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It wasn't the day after, but it was after the Shiva and after the funeral, after Berkowitz had picked up the chairs. My son went away to back to town to Columbus, and I'm sitting there alone for the first time. And I said to myself, this is a Friday night, by the way. And I said to myself, this is time, I have to go to shul, I have to say Mourner's Kaddish.
Yeah.
And I walked into, it wasn't this temple, but I walked into the shul for Friday night service for the first time in decades.
Wow.
And then I'm here.
Wow. Right. Right. Yingling?
Yeah, so, and I did find out all my friends that I knew at night, we're all safe.
Oh,
And it was pitch black dark, so they were escorted by the troop through one of the entrance, they were out of the Tiananmen Square, so they were out, at least the people I knew, they were all safe, so. Of course, I immediately called my family, my parents, let them know I'm safe, because they were sick, so they knew about the shooting and everything. But to this day, I still think Chinese government, you can all tell, it's still dictatorship, it's still no matter how, the economy boom, now it's like a falling. I guess one thing for me, that if I say the turning point is, that was when I decided I had to go to United States. So at that time, I was only 20 years old. So at age 25, I came to this country for my PhD and I stayed. And here I am, I'm in this.
Yeah.
We're glad you're here.
Yeah, exactly. Anybody else want to share about the day after? So I'm going to share, I think this is part of the secret of our people. It's not just that we know how to begin, it's that we know how to begin again. Because do the Israelites continue marching towards the Holy Land? Do they continue walking towards Eretz Yisrael? I mean, it might take them 40 years, it might take them a little while, but do they just stop there? Do they turn around and go back to Egypt? What do?
They continue to march.
Right, they continue to have the march, right? And God, by the way, doesn't abandon them. They're following behind a pillar of cloud during the day and a pillar of fire during the nights. Right? They have the angels accompanying them. Yes, I think that the people who do counseling would say, you can maybe do some meditation and you can say, okay, I'm simply going to begin again. I'm simply going to do one thing, one step. I'm going to make that difficult call to say, someone passed away. I'm going to, start to sit Shiva or whatever. I'm going to start the wedding. I'm going to start the marriage. I'm going to start raising this family or this child, or I'm going to start again. I'm going to start to take swimming lessons. Maybe not. But I'm going to.
Too late.
Too late. No, it's not too late actually.
Never too late.
So right. So yeah, I mean, part of it is to, if you can remain curious, if you can remain open to learning something new, right? If you can remain open to turning the next page of the Torah, right? We could stop here, right? Yes.
I'm always struck until the 6-Day War, or maybe a little bit after, there was always a Jewish presence in Egypt. Since biblical times.
Okay.
I'm always struck by that.
So it could be that the eclipse might be a time of just, no big deal. Rabbis didn't even have a blessing for it. Could be a time of maybe, seeing some neighbors out in the backyard or in the street or in the stadium, whatever. But it could also be a time to say, okay, maybe here's a chance to learn something new, or to stay curious, or to maybe make a new goal, right? Because that's how you begin again, is to focus on another goal. So the Torah says you can become a nation of priests. Here's some laws of kashrut. We can go into the sanctuary and hear Parsha Shemini. This is how you become a nation of priests. You want to be a leader. Stay holy. You want to follow Hashem. These are the laws.
I think that what you're saying can bring strength. However, I wonder about the lack of empathy and compassion when somebody will say, there's this woman who formed what's called the Widow's Camp. They're a big chain of retreat places in Canada and the US. She did it because she was couldn't deal with the insensitivity of people who said to her right after her husband died, oh, you'll find somebody else right at the funeral. That motivated her to start this widow's camp. So what about the insensitivity, lack of compassion and empathy right at the moment? There may be sun after the rain falls, but what about that aspect of it? The people are undergoing pain. They want that empathy and compassion. They're not looking forward to seeing the sun right away. They have to heal.
Anybody else want to have a final word? So what does God say about why do we keep kosher? This will be my final thought.
Go for it.
Because I could go forth. I took you out of Egypt to make you a holy people. You know, this is my command, right? That's why we keep kosher, because God said so. And God does, and
Do you mean
Wait.
no rhyme or reason?
that's the reason. Was that Helena saying something?
Yeah, I wanted to say something about what Elliot said about the empathy. People don't know what to say if they never had any dark moments in their life. So it's not entirely their fault. Some people were saying stupid things to me when I had my dark moment. And some people came to me quietly and say, you know, it happened to me as well. So everyone deals with those things differently. The problem that I had was that after the Shiva, the phone didn't code. Before the dark moment and before the Shiva, the phone didn't stop ringing. But once I became a widow, no one called after the Shiva. No one called, no one. It's like I was in a plague and I'm contagious. No one wanted. That's the thing that I want to make. That's the lack of empathy and sympathy and understanding that some people don't have. It's like I lost a lot of friends this way.
Thank you, Helena. So if you look on page 642, which is chapter 11, verse 44, talking about these laws. And by the way, if you want to see a real poignant part of the parsha, look when Moses admits he's wrong, right at the very end of chapter 10. But now I'm jumping into before middle of chapter 11. For I, the Lord, am your God. You shall sanctify yourselves and be holy, for I am holy. You shall not make yourselves impure, right? For I am he who brought you up from the land of Egypt to be your God. You shall be holy, because I am holy. Right? Ki ani Adonai hama'aleh etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem le'elohim v'yitem kedoshim ki kadosh ani. That's the end of our parsha. Okay.
Shalom.
Friends, thanks for studying Torah with me.